Hey guys, Zedd here, bringing you another Soul Calibur video. Today, I kind of want to have a bit of a discussion more than actual gameplay. I just want to talk about some things that I was going through with the game for the last couple of weeks, and overall, it's just be a nice discussion video. So there won't be much, if any, gameplay, but if you just want to hear me chat for a little bit, that's what it'll be here for. So first off, thank you, by the way, to all the recent subscribers I've gotten. I've been keeping an eye on the number and been getting comments and notifications and all that. And I'm super pleased. We broke, pretty well past 200, which is pretty awesome for me. And, that's all thanks to you folks out there. So, again, I do appreciate it. And if you do like the kind of content I produce or you want me to produce other content, I'm super thrilled to make what you guys want me to make. I just need content suggestions from you. Otherwise, I don't really know what you want. And I just kind of do what I feel like. Excuse me. But anyway, thank you so much for the subscriptions, pardon me, the views, the likes, the comments. I love it all. I, always respond to all my comments. And it's really awesome. And I'm glad you're enjoying the content. So thank you. Next, I apologize for not having uploaded much, if anything, over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Uh, Life gets in the way, work gets in the way, and also just my mentality towards the game gets in the way, which is going to be kind of the bulk of what this video is all about. So I do apologize. I try to upload at least one video a week, but sometimes, stuff happens, right? But anyway, what I want to talk about today is just me mentality and like keeping yourself in check and character crisis and all that kind of stuff. So first, I want to explain some issues that I was having with the game in general, and mostly with Shanghua though, and then why I got over them and stuff like that. So for about the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've been having some serious issues with Shanghua in terms of my performance and in terms of how I felt about the character as a whole. And some of the things I was pissed off about were I thought that, you could always just step Shanghua, right? That she was like all verticals, stuff like that. That her damage was low, you know, her neutral tools and her approach game was weak against some matchups. But the biggest one that got to me was just her lack of step catcher. Her lack of decent horror mid kind of pissed me off for a while. Um, quite extensively, might I add. It was very, very frustrating. And so that was really frustrating. I was having issues with the character. So I thought, if I'm having all these issues for so long, maybe she's not the character for me. So I went back over to Aswell there, my secondary. No, I didn't pick him up because people think he's broken, which he's not. He's been my secondary pretty much since the game came out, but to be fair, I haven't really played him much in the last few months. So I decided to look at him and I decided to look at Geralt to try to break the game down and go back to fundamentals. Needless to say, in doing so, I didn't find any success, and I was actually performing even worse with Shenhua. And so you can imagine I was getting very frustrated. So the kind of there's two games that came out recently, Dota Underlords by Valve and Teamfight Tactics by Riot Games, both excellent casual games, by the way. Um, and so I took a little bit of a break. I took a week off of Soul Calibur just to kind of try to reset my mind and well, yeah, reset my mind. Now I have a tournament coming up here in 2 days from the time of this video, and at the time, this was about a week and a half ago. At the time, I was really upset with myself and just really worried that I wasn't gonna really be ready, and that I wasn't gonna even I wasn't even gonna know what freaking character I was gonna play, and so that just caused even more frustration, as you could imagine. I was playing sets and I was getting losses. I was playing ranked online and I was losing to, players who I, you know, really shouldn't have been losing to. I was making stupid mistakes, developing bad habits. It was really all going downhill, honestly. And to the point where I thought, is this game even for me? I'm not kidding. I was just so defeated by my lack of success with Shanghua that it was really driving me up the wall. So I took the break, like I said, and I I had the opportunity to go to my locals monthly before the tournament, which I didn't anticipate I was going to be able to go to. And so that kind of rekindled something, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go and just see how we do in a competitive environment. So my goal was to go and play Xianghua primarily, flex Geralt as well if I had to, and strictly focus on my fundamentals. At the tournament, I did not do as well as I had hoped or anticipated. I didn't even get top three, which is what I was expected to do by others and what I expected to do. Um, and I did play Aswell. I did take some games with Aswell, but I didn't really feel awesome with him, and I really didn't feel comfortable with Xianghua. And so I was on the way home, and I was just like, what do I do? Like, nothing feels right, and I just felt like every match was a struggle, and it was really not a good experience. Um, like the players are good. I'm not going to take that away from them, but I personally did not feel like I deserved the wins I did get, um, and that was very, very hard on my mental state. So I get home that night, and the entire way home, I'm thinking to myself, I have I have the pinnacle in a week, and I'm not ready. I guess I just go with the character that I put the most hours on, Shanghua. So I was like, okay, where was I falling short? So now at this point, I'm trying to figure out like what my bad habits are, and certainly enough, after rewatching some VODs, is that I was using verticals like a mother trucker. I was using these too much. I was using her auto GIs too much. I was going for 4-4-A hold too much in the Oki setups that follow the combos afterwards. I was just doing really gimmicky stuff, and it's because I had played online for so long without playing in an offline environment that I started developing bad habits. I don't know why it took me so long to realize that, but as soon as it did, it just clicked. I was like, okay, you know what? It's not the character. It's me. It is not Shenghua at all. Like, sure, she has these weaknesses, but they're not enough to be like, oh, I can't play the game. Now, here's the fun fact. When I was at the locals, they were playing CEO on the screen there, and I was able to watch pretty much the entirety of Top 8 Soul Calibur 6. And it was very good. It was a good watch. And then I went back and I watched the pools. And I saw two Shanghua players who I do chat with and I do play games with, and they're very good players. And I saw them get to top 24 with Shanghua, and you could say it inspired me in a sense, especially being a competitive player myself and having just being real down on myself and not having any success with my character. It was really nice to see someone else have success with my character. Um, so that in conjunction with identifying what my habits were kind of rekindled this spirit in me. So I spent the next little while, and I'm still doing it right now, trying to stop using 6-6B. I'm not even using it at all. Not using 4-4-A hold aside from Oki, because I still think it's a very good move for Oki. I'm not just saucing it out in neutral with no purpose. And I'm trying my best only to use the auto GIs as a true like prediction that I really feel like it is the time and place for them, not just a YOLO auto GI. And I've been seeing a lot more success. I've been doing very well. I was getting super high win streaks on ranked, doing well against the players I wasn't doing well against in sets, and overall I just feel a lot better about the game as a whole. Like, yeah, I still have these doubts in my mind, but at the end of the day, I need to pick a character, and I need to pick fast, so Xianghua is going to be the one for me, always has been, always will. So that's just where my mentality has been lately. And there was one other thing I realized, and it's something I wanted to save till the end here. It's don't, well, there's a few things. First off, don't blame the character. Let's start with that. Don't blame the character, especially in Soul Calibur 6. In Soul Calibur 6, any character can win a major, no doubt about it. Not even, don't even argue it, because you would be wrong, frankly. This game, you can win this game with just raw fundamentals. You can win this game with just raw gimmicks. It's all in how you pilot it. So it's not the character, it's the player. Second, don't think that you are at your peak, and that's kind of where I was. Like, look, I know in retrospect it sounds stupid, but this was how I was feeling. I felt like, man, I was on top of my game, like, no way I could be stopped, and then all of a sudden I get stopped, and it's just all downhill, right? But the third thing that kind of goes in conjunction with that is, and this was a big one for me, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm still working on it. Um, don't think that your opponents are garbage. Don't think that they're garbage. Don't think that they're worse than you. If anything, think that they're on equal skill or better than you. Because if you start to show no respect towards the opponent, and even mentally, if you have no respect for your opponent, you're going to start taking unnecessary risks. You're going to start playing like an idiot, thinking that you got this in the bag. And then as soon as they take a game or round off of you, it's just all of a sudden going to shoot your ego. And now you're going to be using panic GIs and panic throws, and you're going to be playing like garbage. So don't assume your opponents are garbage. Now, I knew the good opponents, like I didn't think everyone was garbage. But admittedly, I had this mentality that I had this in the bag, right? And the couple of days I was playing online before my locals was really good because I did end up playing against very skilled players. And then at the locals, I did worse than I thought, and that was a bit of an ego check, if you will, or a wake-up call. And again, I don't want to take anything away from the players. They're all there for the same reason I am. We're all there to have fun, and we're all there to improve, right? Like, I'm not saying they're bad, but in my mind, I thought that, and that's so not good, right? So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I have Pinnacle on Friday, which I'll be competing in and casting when I'm not playing, by the way. And that will be super awesome. I'll upload VODs of that later. And then I'll be streaming over the next day or two from the time of this video. And then, yeah, but in general, so to recap, don't blame the character, it's all on you. Any character can win in Soul Calibur. Stop saying that a character is broken or underpowered. That's Coswallop. And please, for the respect of both yourself and the opponent, try your best to assume that everyone is just as good as you are. Because if you start thinking otherwise, you're going to psych yourself out. And frankly, I did. And that's not good. And the last thing when it comes to characters, it's okay to have a character crisis. I have been a Xianghua main since Soul Calibur 2, and I was unsure about wanting to play the character. It's okay to be unsure. What I suggest is to take a step back, look at why are you playing the character? Like, what is it about the character that you wanted in the first place? Hone in on those strengths. Forget about the weaknesses. Hone in on those strengths. Focus on what you love about the character, and eventually the weaknesses will fix themselves. On the flip side, if you feel like the weaknesses are too strong, try finding a way with your character to combat these weaknesses. In my case with Xianghua, I'm trying now in each of my games to just use 4-4A as opposed to 4-4A hold, and I'm trying to use it as a step catcher, as it is neutral on block, or neutral on hit, sorry, and -8 on block, so it's fully safe, and it tech crunches too. And then the other thing, when it comes to approaching, is I'm trying to just use 6-6A more, and then also, yeah, anyway, I'm still kind of labbing that one out. But yeah, just try to identify what the weaknesses are and work around it. And then also, because this kind of goes with the keep a good mentality about your opponent. Try to reflect on what your bad habits are. Like, why are you losing? And don't be like, oh, I shouldn't have lost because they're bad. Don't be like, oh, they got lucky. No, they didn't get lucky. You lost. Plain and simple. Well, why? What could you have done better, right? Stuff like that. All those things are healthy steps to take to becoming a better player. I would say that I've improved over this time. My fundamentals have improved. My gimmicks have slowed down. I'm still taking advantage of the character's strong Oki game. Like, that hasn't stopped. But what I've been doing lately is I've been playing a lot of ranked, where you don't find as skilled players, and I've been doing my best to try to just imagine that they're all very good and practicing my fundamentals. And if I go 3-0, awesome. But if I've lost rounds, then clearly they weren't garbage, right? So anyway, that's going to be it for that little rant. I do have more content ideas for the future. I wanted to get this out there before I sit down and I kind of focus for the tournament, and then I'll have another video after Friday, probably Saturday or Sunday. I'll try to get something up, and we'll kind of go from there. But I hope maybe you get some insight onto my mental state. Again, it's okay to be unsure. It's okay to be, not perfect, right? None of us are. Um, and if you ever have any questions about your own character or what you think your strengths and weaknesses are, like if there's anything I can do to help you, please feel free to comment below. Or if you're uncomfortable with that, you know, tweet me. Like, feel free to contact me. I'm so pleased to give you all a hand. I don't mind helping every single one of you, whether you're subscribed or not. I don't care, right? I just want everyone in this entire community to grow the game together and grow as a player. That way, I can have better and more competition. And I want to be garbage compared to the norm. That way, I can strive to be better, and then you guys can strive to be better, and together we'll create a really competitive environment. All right. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. And again, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one.